Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for this mobility and stretch. If you are following along, this video is a part of a 30-day workout series called Back to Basics. On the 5th day, usually a Friday if you follow along, we will be doing a mobility and stretch series to end the week on a nice relaxing note because you are working so hard the rest of the week. If you want to follow along, there is a workout calendar in the description box below, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you never miss a workout again. All right, so let's get started, okay? Today there's gonna be no timers. It's just gonna be nice moving and flowing through our body, kind of yoga-like, stretch-like. Mobility is a very unique type of movement that I absolutely love, and I think we need to incorporate more in our everyday lives. All right, so let's start with some neck rolls. Okay, I want you to think of these as a little bit over exaggerated. So we're gonna look down, and then I want you to really make a nice big circle, slow, almost like you're pouring water out of your ear over your shoulder. Look up, pull that head back. Now that other ear is pouring water over your shoulder. Tuck the chin and down. And then let's reverse that. And I want you to keep doing that. Once you reach center, you can reverse. And go slow. We don't want any pain. Let's finish this circle here and rest. All right, let's finish this out with our neck before we move on to the next thing. Looking side to side, just adding some different movement in. Then we'll look up and down. All right, you can kind of shake it out a little bit. All right, next thing is gonna be an eagle pose. Some of my yogis may know what that is. I like to do this in a kneeling position. I'm gonna show it from the side so you can kind of see the full pose. So what we're doing is we're gonna lock our right elbow over our left and try to clasp our hands together. All right, and this is gonna purposefully round our back. We want it to be rounded because it's opening up our upper back. It's stretching out our shoulder blades. And try to relax into that stretch. All right, and let's switch arms. So now we're gonna put the left elbow, lock it over the right. And you might notice one side feels a little tighter, maybe more resistance on one side. That's okay. Maybe you play around with neck movement. You're allowed to close your eyes. And back to rest. So that's when we don't want to really hold too long because it's a pretty deep stretch. You can shake your arms out a little bit, and we're going to come back to a seated pose. So from here, we're going to do a seated twist. So almost like we're going to move our hands through water, okay? But we're going to rotate like we're trying to crack our back. You want to look over that shoulder, flow through water. Okay, and whatever range of motion feels good to you, because this might be different for all of you. Some of you may be more flexible, some of you not as flexible, but that's why we do mobility, to increase our range of motion, get movement into our joints and body in a way that we normally don't do, just to get the blood flowing and prevent injury and all kinds of good stuff. All right, and back to rest. Now from here, we're gonna add some overhead reaches, which you can even make this a little flow. I like to actually put my forearms on the ground and almost pretend like I'm flowing through water. Almost feel like I'm a rocking boat. Do a couple more. One more on each side. And rest. All right, now we're gonna come into cat-cow, one of my favorites. So cat-cow, if you're not familiar, you're in tabletop position. So all fours, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders, and we're going to pull the belly button down, arch the back. And then we're gonna pull the belly button up and in, and then round the back. You're gonna go between the two. And how extreme you make that stretch is up to you. Maybe you don't stretch as much, it's little, that's okay. Maybe you need a deeper stretch, that's also okay. Maybe you rock side to side with your hips. Kind of listen to your body, see what it needs right now, maybe even some circles. Whatever it needs right now, that's what you're gonna give it. So you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. Breathing and stretching is also important. So with the cat-cow, you want to breathe out as we're rounding. Breathe in as we're arching. And have that movement go with the flow of your breath. Whenever you're ready, you can meet me back in center. We're still going to add a little stretch from here. So we're actually going to stretch out the wrist. This is a perfect position to do that. So we're going to turn our palms around. Okay, so your fingers are facing you. And that might be a stretch, you know, a good enough stretch as is. But if you want to add even more of a stretch, you can do a gentle rock forward and back. This can be pretty intense. It does not have to be a huge move. Do not go fast, okay? Anybody with carpal tunnel, or you use your hands all day, your wrists, you feel that they cramp up, they get sore, this is perfect. Perfect for that. And if you feel some sensitivity on your palms, you can always place a towel or something soft underneath there to help with this stretch, okay? And we're actually gonna add another stretch. You can try, if you flip your hands over, fingers toward you still, and same thing, a little bit of a rock. This one can be really intense for those that are sensitive, so it's okay, you don't have to do this, you can keep doing cat-cow. But it's a good way to stretch the other side of the wrists. All right, so let's gently come out of that. We're gonna go back to a kneeling position. Let's kind of shake that out. We're gonna give ourselves some wrist rolls. Okay, because that was a lot of pressure on the wrists. We can open, close the hands. You can probably hear my hands cracking. Okay, just shake it out, work it out, make it feel good again, okay? The next thing is another one of my favorites. We have a bird dog with a twist. We're gonna do a bird dog with a shoulder car, okay? So what that is, a normal bird dog, you're doing in tabletop, opposite arm, opposite leg, right? That's normal bird dog. Well, what we're doing to add a level of mobility is we're gonna do opposite arm, opposite leg. As we're holding here, we're gonna bring our shoulder and hand around to our lower back and bring it back to the front and down. So we're adding that little bit of shoulder mobility, a little bit of core work, having to hold ourselves in that position. We're just gonna alternate. Again, there's no set time, no set amount of reps, just go at your pace. And pay attention to my arms. As I'm pulling behind me, my palms go to an upwards position, and then they come back down as I bring it to the front. Ooh, I got a little crack in my shoulder there. That's why we do mobility. Let's do one more on each side. All right, and we'll come back to rest. We're going to stand now. We're gonna do an inchworm to a cobra. So what does that look like? We're gonna come to the edge of our mat, the back of our mat here. We're gonna reach down, walk out into a plank. From there, we're gonna lower the hips, untuck the toes, get a little stretch in the belly, tuck the toes again. You can kind of bend up to your knees if you want, and then press up back into that plank and walk back to standing. Okay, let's go through a couple of those. These take a while to get through, so just be gentle, be slow, feel the move. I'd rather you do a couple and really feel the movement than get like a ton. It's not a race. And again, you can close your eyes. Listen to what your body's telling you and what it's guiding you through. It's interesting how everybody's body's different, and it might just want to lean towards doing the form just slightly different. If it feels good, do that. Backing up into my TV here. And let's do one more. And then you can meet me on the mat when you're ready on your back. All right, so I just wrapped up my last one. I'm headed to my back for sciatic nerve flossing. This is great if you have sciatica, lower back pain, hamstring tightness, back tightness. Pretty much everybody has this stuff. So you're gonna meet me up or on the back with our knees bent, feet flat. You're gonna reach behind your right leg, okay? And from here, we're going to flex the foot, point it up towards the ceiling. We're gonna hold it here, and you're gonna point the toe, flex the toes. And I count to 5, and then slowly lower, and we're just gonna do the other side, and we're just gonna alternate. Okay, so that act of extending, there's a nerve that runs all the way down to your lower back from this foot, and when you're moving your foot like this, it's like flossing between your bones, your joints, your ligaments, your tendons. And that sounds kind of gross now that you think about it, but picture it helps break up any of that inflammation, that tightness. It helps kind of smooth things out, stretch it out, clean it up. Just like if you're flossing in between your teeth, you're getting all that tartar, that gunk out. That's kind of what this is doing. And we'll do one more on each side. Again, take your time, there's no rush. And we'll come back to rest. So next thing is going to be an arm rainbow. That's what I like to call them. I'm gonna lay this way so you can sort of see. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay to one side. Knees are tucked, arms are out at our sides, okay? I want you to kind of point with that top hand, like make a little pointer. Everything's nice and flat on the mat. You're gonna point this arm almost like if it was a clock. And we're gonna drag it without trying to, you know, lift up from the mat, almost like a rainbow. You're gonna draw a rainbow, open the arms, and then we're gonna bring it back. Okay, just do your best to keep it flush with the ground. Oh man, every time I do this, I yawn and I get relaxed, which is great. I love it. I hope you're feeling relaxed as well. Let's do two more. And we'll flip it over. All you gotta do is turn your body over. Same thing. Point that top finger, top hand, trace above your head like you're making a big rainbow, or you could picture you're like a clock. Did anybody watch, oh man, what's it called? Big Comfy Couch? Any 90s babies? Comment in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about with the Big Comfy Couch. Always thought she was so cool and flexible when she could just like point her arms and bounce around in like different angles. So that's kind of what I feel like. Great for opening up the chest. We're so hunched all day that this will help really open up that chest. Stretch the shoulders, the back, and rest. All right. Let's go back to our backs. We're staying on our backs. We're gonna do a figure four. So we're gonna take our right leg, cross it over the left. Looks like a figure four. You can hold here, or you can pull behind that left leg and pull toward you for a little bit of a deeper stretch. And maybe you wanna rock a little bit, that's fine. Just feel that stretch. You can even push on that knee gently to get a deeper stretch. And I want you to gently set that foot down. You're not gonna grab, we will still stay in that figure four, okay? And we're gonna do a windshield wiper, so adding some movement. You can try to tap the knee down or get close to it. Again, this depends on your flexibility. Maybe you want to do smaller rocks. Maybe you want to go for some bigger ones. That's fine. Do what feels good. Come back to rest. Let's do that other side. So left leg crossing over the right for that figure 4. Remember, you can push on that knee for a deeper stretch. You can reach behind you. When you're ready, you can lower that foot and do the wipers. Right, and we'll come back to rest. Let's flip over to our front now. We're gonna do some child's pose. So on all fours, you're gonna sink the butt back towards the heels, spread the knees apart a little bit, reach the arms out, and just relax. Put that forehead to the mat. And from here, if you want a little bit of a lat stretch, what we're gonna do is I want you to come up to your fingertips. We're gonna walk both hands over to the right side. It's gonna be a lat stretch. You should feel that in the left lat, all along your left side. And then we can walk our hands over to the left side, and that's when we're gonna feel it in the right. And I like to balance on my fingertips for a deeper stretch, but you can have your hands flat as well, whatever feels good. And then we'll walk over to the center and we'll hold that child's pose again, the regular child's pose. I want you to take a moment just to kind of scan your body, deepen your breath, relax. Notice how you're feeling. I'm hoping you feel better than when you came into this video. You feel a little more relaxed. Your breathing's a little more controlled. A little bit more mobile. Maybe energized. Calm. And then we'll slowly walk it back up. You can meet me back in the seated position. So I think that's going to wrap up our mobility and stretching session for today. Thank you again for joining me in week 1, and I can't wait to see you back for the workouts in week 2. Have a great day.